Vrajajanarandana Yashodhanandana Vrajajanarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Vrajajanarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Paramahamsa, Virajacharya, Stotra, Tusi Srimad, Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Virajacharya, Stotra, Tusi Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Giri Govardhan ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki. Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki. Ganga Mai ki. Jamuna Mai ki. Tulasi Devi ki. Bhakti Devi ki. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki. Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Glories to the Sum of devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Sum of devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Sum of devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Srimate Vaisheshika Ādi-līlā Nama Prahasaya Shivaya Prabhupada Anusarine Antitaritta Tasme Shastra Bhajana Chodine. Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So we're continuing our study, our Saturday study of Shri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, or in the Ādi-līlā, chapter 2, which is entitled Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And today we're looking at verses 28 through 30. So I'll do 28 and 29, and then 30 we can do together. Okay. Se Narayana Krishnena Swarup Abheda Eka Ai Vaigraha Kintu Akara Vibdeha. Narayan and Sri Krishna are the same personality of Godhead, but although they are identical, their bodily features are different. Ino hota dhibhuja tingho dhare chari hata Ino venu dhari tingho chakradhika sata. This personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, has 2 hands and holds a flute, whereas the other, Narayana, has 4 hands with conch, wheel, mace, and lotus. Purport. I'll just read the purport. Narayana is identical to Sri Krishna. They are in fact the same person, manifested differently, like a high court judge who is differently situated in his office and at home. As Narayana, the Lord is manifested with 4 hands, but as Krishna, he is manifested with 2 hands. Okay, we can do this one now and call and respond. Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Atma yadiksha kila loka sakshi
Atma sadisha kila loka sakshi
Narayano gham narabhujalagyanat
Narayanam Narabhujalayana
Taschapi satyam natathaiva maya
Taschapi satyam natadeva maya
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Atmas yadiksha kila loka sakshi
Atmasya disha kila loka sakshi
Narayano ghya narabhujalagyanat
Narayano Narabhujalayana
Taschapi satyam natathaiva maya
Taschapi satyam natadeva maya
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Atmas yadiksha kila loka sakshi
Atmasya disha kila loka sakshi
Narayano ghya narabhujalagyanat
Narayano Narabhujalayana
Taschapi satyam nahi natathaiva maya
Taschapi satyam natadeva maya
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Atmasya disha kila loka sakshi
Narayanagham narabhujalagyanat Taschapi satyam nahi tathaiva
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Atmasya disha kila loka sakshi
Atmasya dhisha kila loka sakshi
Narayanongam Narabhujalayana
Narayanogham narabhujalagyanat
Taschapi satyam natadeva maya
Taschapi satyam natathaiva maya
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam
Atmasya disha kila loka sakshi
Atmasya dhisha kila loka sakshi
Narayanongam Narabhujalayana Narabhujalayana
Narayano Gham Narabhujalayana
Tacchapi Satyam Natavaiva Maya
Tacchapi Satyam Nititaiva Maya Narayanastam Nahi Sarvadehinam Atmasya Vishakali Loka Sakshi Narayano Gham Narabhujalayana Tacchapi Satyam Natavaiva Maya Narayanaha, Lord Narayana, Tam, on you, Na, not, He, certainly, Sarva, all, Dehinam, of the embodied beings, Atma, the Supersoul, Asi, you are, Adhisha, O Lord, Akila Loka, of all the worlds, Sakshi, the witness, Narayana, known as Narayana, Angham, plenary portion, Nara, of Nara, Bhu, born, Jala, in the water, Ayanhat, due to the place of refuge, Tat, that, Cha, and, Api, certainly, Satyam, highest truth, Na, not, Tava, your, Eva, all, at all, Maya, the illusory energy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O Lord of Lords, you are the seer of all creation. You are indeed everyone's dearest life. You are not, therefore, my Father. Are you not, therefore, my Father, Narayana? Narayana refers to one whose abode is in the water, born from Nara, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And that Narayana is your plenary portion. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They are absolute and are not creations of Maya. Purport. This statement, which is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14, was spoken by Lord Brahma in his prayers to Lord Krishna after the Lord had defeated him by displaying his mystic powers. Brahma had tried to test Lord Krishna to see if he were really the Supreme Personality of Godhead, playing as a cowherd boy. Brahma stole all the other boys and their calves from the pasturing grounds. But when he returned to the pastures, he saw that all the boys and calves were still there, for Lord Krishna had created them all again. When Brahma saw this mystic power of Lord Krishna's, he admitted defeat and offered prayers to the Lord, addressing him as the proprietor and seer of everything, and the creation, and as the super soul who is within each and every living entity and is dear to all. That Lord Krishna is Narayana, the father of Brahma. That Lord Krishna is Narayana, the father of Brahma, because Lord Krishna's plenary expansion, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, after placing himself in the Garbha ocean, created Brahma from his own body. Mahavishnu in the causal ocean, and Kshirodhakashayi Vishnu, the super soul in everyone's heart, are also transcendental expansions of the supreme truth. Om Gyanatamirandasya Ghanandana Shalakaya Chachurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadhati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sabhetam Sabhadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamshta He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhe Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukkam Karoti Vachanam Mangalangayate Girim Yakripa Tamaham Bande Shriram Dhyataranam. Caitanya-caritāmṛta is considered the PhD, the topmost study, topmost literature, especially for us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Bhagavad Gita begins with, "You're not your body," and ends with, "Give up all dharma." The Bhagavatam starts with, "Give up all cheating religion, give up all dharma, and surrender unto Krishna." And it ends with, "Chant the holy names." And then we see that the Caitanya-caritāmṛta starts with Lord Chaitanya saying that he will teach us how to chant the holy names personally. And it ends with Lord Chaitanya being in ecstatic love of God. So this is the ultimate goal. Prema Pumartu Mahan is what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach us, that the ultimate goal of love of life, the Prema Pumarta. Pumarta means the fifth, is what is it? Pancha Purushartha. It means the fifth, it's the fifth goal of human life, which is to attain pure love of God. So the Caitanya-caritāmṛta is so special because it teaches us the teachings, or Krishna himself teaching us how to love him. And it also describes the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which were hidden until Kaviraj Goswami revealed them to the world. Well, of course, Gaudiya Vaishnavas were discussing them, but they weren't widely available. And the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, just to understand how valuable this book is. Bhaktivinoda Thakur struggled for years and years and years to find a copy of Caitanya-caritāmṛta. And Srila Prabhupada made it easily available with his Bhaktivedanta purports and commentaries. So this is a great opportunity we actually have to have the chance to read and study Caitanya-caritāmṛta. It was the favorite book of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. And in his final days, he was just absorbed himself in Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Our own Srila Prabhupada, also on his journey across the Jaladuta, of course, other than the Bhagavatams that he carried, do you know what other two books he carried with him? Caitanya-caritāmṛta, and another one lesser known, but Prapadam Jivanamrita, by his godbrother, which aligns different verses from different shastras, revealing the path of surrender. And it's a compilation which actually Srila Prabhupada financed. He gave the donation to his godbrother to print this book. It was also a favorite of His Holiness Kadamba Maharaj, who his Vyasa Puja celebration will be today here at ISKCON Brooklyn. Radha Govinda Mandir will be celebrating today the appearance of His Holiness Kadamba Maharaj. And so Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur said that the day would come when people will learn Bengali so they can relish Caitanya-caritāmṛta. And Srila Prabhupada is so merciful that we don't even have to learn Bengali to relish it, because now it has been made available to us in the English language. Of course, the Bengalis get extra relish. So, particularly this chapter, Kaviraj Goswami is revealing to us how Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because historically, even in India, even to this day, most people do not know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he is known as the Chana avatar, which means the hidden avatar. So when Lord Chaitanya appeared, he did not openly proclaim to be Krishna, even though some knew it. And even though in some places in the Shastras also, it reveals that Lord Chaitanya was going to come. And of course, some of his intimate associates knew he was appearing. So that is another glory of this Caitanya-caritāmṛta, is that it reveals Lord Chaitanya and his incredible pastimes. And so in the summary study, or in his summary study of Caitanya-caritāmṛta, His Holiness Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj regards that Lord Chaitanya is the safe incarnation. And so he gives this acronym and breaks it down. S meaning the scriptures. So the scriptures, they reveal incarnation. So there's one particular verse which is very famous, and I think we all know it. We can recite it together, or if someone would like to, who knows the verse? Krishnam bhardam tusha krishnam sango pangastra parsadam yagyai sankirtane praye yayantihi sumirasaha. So this is the scriptural evidence that is revealing the position of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishnam bhardam tusha a-Krishna. So it's Krishna himself who has appeared. But Krishna Vardam Tusha a-Krishna, but he's appeared in a color that's a-Krishna, that's not blackish, like Krishna usually is, as we have Govinda in a beautiful blackish form. Personally, I like to see Krishna in a blackish form. Nothing against the whitish form of Krishna, but I just like to see personal. We all have personal choices or personal likes. And so he's a-Krishna, he's golden form. Krishna Bharan Tusha Krishna, Sango Pangastra Parsadam, and he has appeared with his astras and his associates. And so in other ages, Krishna appeared and he caused some damage externally. As Lord Ram, he's coming soon, just next Tuesday, celebrating Lord Ramachandra's appearance day. Or as Krishna himself killed so many demons. But as Lord Chaitanya, he came with the astra of the holy names and the astra of the Shastras, you can say, in one sense. Because Lord Chaitanya was prolifically also making sure that he instructed his disciples, Nahana Shastra Vichara Naika Nipuno Sadharma Samstapako. They looked through all the Shastras and they revealed the true process of bhakti yoga, which, like time and time again, yadha dharmasya glhane bhavati bharata, things become lost in this material world. Everything is meant to destruct at some point. So similarly, in the process of devotional service throughout history, sometimes the real meaning, the real path becomes covered over. I wouldn't say necessarily lost, because it's always there, and there's always pure devotees present on this planet, just that it becomes maybe obscured or covered over where we can't actually see the path correctly. So Lord Chaitanya came with his associates and the holy name, his astras, to again reestablish, the way to achieve love of God in this age. So he's the safe incarnation. The next A represents astrology or astrological, and by his attributes or his activities. So what happened astrologically at the time of Lord Chaitanya's appearance? There was an eclipse, and what else? Full moon. So there was a full moon, and then there was a eclipse, lunar eclipse. So typically in India, when there was an eclipse, what would people do? They would go out into the Ganga, and they would chant the holy names. So we see this is a special astrological arrangement by none other than the Supreme Lord himself, completely directing this drama in the material world, where he's appearing at a time where people are calling out the holy names, just to, you could say, set the stage for what he's going to do throughout his manifest presence in this world. F means follow authorities. So Maharaj describes that this means actually we see that the great acharyas, they reveal that Lord Chaitanya is God. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Nirmatsaranam Satam, means that these sages, they're non-envious. Means that in their heart, they have no other purpose but to give the greatest benefit to humanity. So therefore, they have no interest in misleading us. They have no interest in trying to gain followers. Their only purpose is to glorify the Lord and to show people the way to also attain perfection in their lives. So by following the authorities, we can also achieve that perfection. And then E, extraordinary activities. So Lord Chaitanya's activities, especially his Sankirtan activities, you can see were extraordinary. And at times he did some very, very extraordinary stuff that can be read and heard about in the Chaitanya Bhagavat and the Caitanya-caritāmṛta as well. So Lord Chaitanya is the safe incarnation that we can take shelter of, especially in this age of Kali. There's a nice verse in the Ādi-līlā that we're reading in now, which describes the reason for the Lord's appearance. One of his purposes, first chapter, it's verse number 4. Anarpitam charim chirat, karunaya mitana kalau, samapayitam unthodala rasam swabhakti shiyam, hari purat sunnada dhyuti kadamba sadipita, sada hidhaya kandare spuratuva sachi nandana. May that Lord who is known as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation ever offered before, the most elevated mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So the process by which Lord Chaitanya said to achieve this Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva 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 Gatiyeta. So to chant the holy names, to chant the holy names, to chant the holy names. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. So if you think there is another way, there is no other way. So this is the thing that one can do in the human form of life to save time. Actually, in the introduction to the Ishopanishad, Srila Prabhupada mentions this point, that why do we follow Shabda Brahma? We follow Shabda Brahma to save time, especially in the human form of life. Human life is very rare. Labhasu dhulabhamidam bahu sambhavante manusyam artadhamanityam api hadira thunam yateta napate anumritu yavan shreyasaya vishaya kalu savatatsya. and this is in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, it explains that human life is very rare, very rarely achieved. And we know from reading Srila Prabhupada's books, there's 8,400,000 different species of life. So you come to this human form of life after transmigrating through all those different species. And now, Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas have given us the cheat code, how we get out of this crazy world. And for a human being to not take advantage of that is the saddest thing. This is actually why the Vaishnavas' hearts are actually full of compassion. That they're crying out, please take Krishna. Please take this process of devotional service so that you can perfect your life and then you can actually be happy. There's one famous video clip of Srila Prabhupada, and he's on Rath Yatra cart. I forget where, if it's Australia or London. But Srila Prabhupada is just saying, our desire is that we want all human beings to be happy. And Prabhupada would famously say, we have turned the hippies into happies. So this is the innermost desire of the Vaishnavas, is that every conditioned soul take up the process of devotional service and be reinstated again in their constitutional position of serving Krishna. And along with the do's, Lord Chaitanya also came to show us the don'ts. So in the Ādi-līlā, there's a really nice verse which Srila Prabhupada will often quote. Right? Vairagya vidya nija bhakti yoga, shishartam ekha purusha purana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharidadhari Kripapuriyastam Aham Prapadye. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, his devotional service, and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender onto his lotus feet. So throughout the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, we also see points where it's being described that the Bhakti Lata Bija, the seed of devotional service, or the creeper of devotional service, is something that we have to protect. So there are different stumbling blocks on the path of devotion that one should be aware of. And basically the don'ts, the do-nots, not the donuts, the do-nots. If anybody can name a few do-nots in devotional service that will harm the creeper. Offenses, that is known as the hati mata, the mad elephant disease. Has anybody ever seen a mad elephant? I haven't seen a mad elephant. You've seen a mad elephant?
I saw a video recently. A tourist just died in Africa because a mad elephant attacked him.
A tourist died in Africa because he was attacked. He or she was attacked by a mad elephant. So this is known as a mad elephant disease. And what happens when a mad elephant enters into a garden? It destroys everything. So offenses to devotees can do this to our devotional service. Now, of course, we understand that in the course of our performing our devotional service, whatever we acquire is never lost. But the privilege to perform devotional service can be taken away for some time. And Krishna will see to it that if we are offending his devotees, he will start to put ideas in our mind that there's something much better to do than to be here in the temple, than to be chanting Hare Krishna, than to be reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and to be taking prasadam. He'll give us unlimited amounts of ideas. Because we can see, especially I can see for myself before I came to devotional service, I had never heard of the word Krishna, I had never seen Krishna, I never seen Sanskrit. So when we come to devotional service, when we're in it, it's like Krishna's unveiling himself and the process to get to him. And again, we can easily become covered over. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that he lamented that his Western devotees were not enough afraid of Maya. And there's a very amazing pastime. And I've heard it recounted that it happened in different places, but I heard this one from Caitanya-caritāmṛta Prabhu, who was Srila Prabhupada's personal secretary for the longest of any other secretary he had. I think 2.5 years he traveled with Srila Prabhupada. And he was in Los Angeles in front of Rukmini Dwarkadish, and Srila Prabhupada was standing in front of Rukmini Dwarkadish with his hands folded and tears coming out of his eyes. And Caitanya-caritāmṛta Prabhu was looking at Srila Prabhupada and just wondering, what is Srila Prabhupada thinking? He must be praying for something, like I really want to know. So he just became very curious, and later on he asked Srila Prabhupada, I saw you were crying and you were praying for something. And actually what had happened was, Srila Prabhupada had mentioned, I will never fall down. And then Caitanya-caritāmṛta was also confused about that. So he said, Prabhupada, you had mentioned that you'll never fall down. He said, yes, because I am always praying to Krishna, please protect me from falling down. So the Acharya teaches by example. So this is a prayer that we can take. We can adopt this prayer. And we can pray to Krishna every day, please protect me from falling down. Because, at least for myself, I can say, I can be swayed at any moment. The jiva is in the marginal position. Marginal means that he can be tipped over the fence at any time. So it's given that, the ocean, like the dry land is like the spiritual world, and Maya is like the ocean, and the jiva is like in that position where the ocean meets the land. So it's constantly, in a state of, where do I belong? But actually our real position is on the land. So by taking constant shelter of Krishna, we can be firmly situated there, where we actually belong. So, any other do-nots you can think of? A satsanga. So not associating with non-devotees. What does not associating with non-devotees means? Not to share our heart, not to become intimately connected with them. Of course, the majority of us, including myself, have to connect with non-devotees on a certain level. But it isn't that we take their advice, especially when it's regarded to what should we do with the ultimate goal of life. So this is, and then associating with anything that will take us away from our Krishna consciousness. So we have to protect it very carefully, as the creeper is now just starting to grow. We have to, you can see in gardening, and also in India, I see it, they put these fences around the creepers and bushes when they're starting to grow, so the animals don't come. So similarly, in a garden, they'll do this. They'll protect the vegetables or fruits with a big fence and by different means. Because, there's different elements that can, at any moment, uproot the creeper. So a way to always remain safe and to guard ourselves from especially the offending devotees is to adopt the mentality of Sri Advaita Acharya. So Sri Advaita Acharya has a beautiful verse which says, Caitanya radhasamui, Caitanya radhasa, Caitanya radhasamui thandra dasai radhasa. And this is an amazing verse. It's easy to remember and is very profound. I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya, a servant of Lord Chaitanya. I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya and a servant of his servants. So by maintaining this consciousness, actually, we can stay in a safe position. Because anytime my mind is acting up, saying, oh, who is this devotee? Who does he think he is? I am better than them. I am more advanced. No. Caitanya radhasa mui, Caitanya radhasa. Caitanya radhasa mui, thandra dasai radhasa. So actually, anytime one may feel that that pride may be creeping up, which pride is like, Raghunath Das Goswami describes pride as donkey urine. So anytime you're bathing yourself in donkey urine, you can chant this verse. And then you can think, how can I serve the Vaishnavas? Even if it's not your day to serve, hop on the line and serve prasadam with gusto and give it out. I remember one instance, it was a fast day, and His Grace Shri Gopala-Campu and Radheshyam Prabhu, they jumped on the line to serve all the devotees. And they were just serving and serving and serving. You can see they had no inhibition of like, oh, the prasadam's going to run out, or, I'm not getting any for myself, or something like that. They just wanted to serve the devotees. And you saw they did it with gusto. And you could see this in Srila Prabhupada. And also, I remember in Vrindavan a couple of years ago, His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj on his Vyasa Puja day, how his god brothers and god sisters were arriving, and Maharaj had every single one have their foot bathed, and then Maharaj was personally directing the serving, and he was there, and he's just serving the Vaishnavas. This is the way to remain safe. Because even if, like for myself, I'm not an advanced devotee, I don't really know so much about devotional service, but I know at least if I serve the Vaishnavas, if I become endeared to the Vaishnavas, then I have a chance, I have a hope, and then the Vaishnavas can say, okay, he's with me. Don't worry, he's with me. And this is our hope. It's not, and especially in devotional service, it's not about what you know, but it's about who you know and how you serve. That is actually very important. So, anyone can claim to be an advanced Vaishnava. But the Caitanya-caritāmṛta also reveals to us what are the actual symptoms of an advanced devotee. And we can see this if we look at Ādi-līlā, chapter 23, verses 18 and 19. They say, Shantir abhyakta kalatvam, viraktir manasunyata, asabhanda samukhanta, nama ghana sadaruchihi, shaktistha guna jhane, pritisthat vasati sthale, idhyadayo nubhavasyur, jata bhavan kure jane. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following line symptoms manifest in one's behavior: forgiveness, concern that time should not be wasted, detachment, absence of false prestige, hope, eagerness, a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord, attachment to descriptions of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and affection for those places where the Lord resides, that is, a temple or a holy place like Vrindavan. These are all called anubhava, subordinate signs of ecstatic emotion. They are visible in a person in whose heart the seed of love of God has begun to fructify. So there's very telltale signs, and we'll see if we're ever around any advanced Vaishnavas, how they organize their day. I've witnessed, spending time with my spiritual master, His Grace Vaisheshika Guru. Every moment he's engaged in Krishna consciousness. Every single moment. There can be, I remember we were waiting online at the airport and just waiting to get to security. He's like, okay, we have enough time to chant a chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And then walking onto the plane, chanting slokas, sitting down, throwing on some headphones to hear kirtan or a class. And then riding in the car, he'll just start reading a verse and then start churning the verse, asking devotees, what their realizations are of the verse, and just constantly engaged, engaging the mind. And this is what it means to surrender the mind, body, and words. It's a very practical way to do it. I had an experience yesterday where I had some free time and I was kind of like, okay, in the back of my mind, I was like, I should chant a chapter of Gita, but I was like, being lazy. So this is an anartha, actually. Laziness is an anartha. Laziness to engage or engage our senses, engage our mind, engage our words in Krishna service. This is an anartha. So, but in the beginning, there has to be some force. So when we feel that resilience, we just force ourselves to do it. Force ourselves to come to Mangalarti. Force ourselves to chant our rounds. Some may say, oh, but what if you don't feel like chanting it? Then it's not, pure, and but it's about following the instructions, because love means, many times Srila Prabhupada would be asked, oh, Srila Prabhupada, how can we show that we love you? And Prabhupada would say, just follow your initiation vows. This is how you can show love. You take in a vow. So imagine, you get married and you make vows. So how do you show your love? By following your vows. So this is something very practical. Devotional service is very practical. And so, achieving all success in life is actually very simple. And the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, 14th chapter, Ādi-līlā, verse 1, gives us the topmost secret. But I think we've run out of time, so I can't tell you. No, I'm just kidding. It's Katashanashmite yasmin, duskaram sukaram bhavet, vismite viparitam sha, Shri Chaitanya nanamitam. That things that are impossible to do become very easy. And things that are easy to do become impossible if we don't surrender to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So to that Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I surrender to his lotus feet. So this is a process by which to attain perfection in life, especially in this age, is to follow the instructions of Lord Chaitanya and his representatives. And Srila Prabhupada has given us volumes and volumes and volumes of instruction that we can read, relish, absorb, and assimilate in our life and teach it to others in whatever capacity we can. And I'm seeing now, as I'm going back into the world, the scary world out there, working again. But actually people are very appreciative if you have something profound to offer them. And I'm very open when people ask me, so what did you used to do? I used to be a monk. And they go, what, really? And then they start asking questions. And then we can start sharing. Yeah, I chant mantras. Have you ever tried that? And then, slowly, I brought Mahaprasadam yesterday to a meeting, and everyone was going wild, and they were just eating the burfis. And I was just thinking, little do they know, they just had Radha Govinda Mahaprasadam, and their life is now finished. So, like that, we can infiltrate the society in this way by leaving people with a favorable impression and giving them prasadam. And those who can take more, we give more. Give them books if they're open. And like this, in this way, we can start to transform the face of the world. So, this is what we want. We want more kirtan. We want more devotees. We want 24-hour kirtan, especially here in New York. We want to see massive prasadam distribution. We want to see massive book distribution. And we want to attract the whole world to Krishna's lotus feet. So we start by giving it to ourselves first, of course, and to others around us. And in this way, we can start to please the previous acharyas and Srila Prabhupada and actually achieve perfection in our life and help others achieve perfection as well. That was class for today. If anybody has any comments, questions, reflections.
Really appreciate the point just at the end you mentioned. You want to make a big change, you should start by changing the situation around you and also changing yourself. And, actually what we can do as an individual, if we can master ourselves and what's our potential. I was thinking about Dhruva Maharaj, just alone in the forest doing his meditation on the Lord. He became so powerful and influential that he was actually holding the entire universe at bay with his austerities, and suffocating the entire universe. So obviously we don't want to suffocate the entire universe, but we understand that if one person can have that impression can spread actually to thousands, in fact thousands and thousands of people in the course of your life, just by positively influencing the few people that are around you. Or just speak of mastering your own self, so you can actually have a positive influence on the people around you. And so we don't even know, actually, we shouldn't necessarily think, okay, we have to do big bookish, we should be this, how are we going to do it? Some people get really fried out in their lives because they're trying to do something big, and they just can't do it. But the people who actually succeeded doing something big weren't so, they just cultivated what they had, like Srila Prabhupada. He just worked with whatever situation he was in, he just made the best of it. I always think it's amazing when he went to the house of those people and where did he go? The first place he went to outside of New York.
Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. He's living in this living with these carving and really neat, and he made such a good actor in that situation. And he was helping them cook, and he was cooking for them, and he would help keep the room clean, and he was very kind to them. And I appreciated it so much. And he wasn't so focused on I have this big vision and I can't be these kind of people.
I think it's both things. Maintaining a big vision and then acting, the best as possible locally. So, globally. Think global, act locally. There's in my Guru Maharaj's book, Our Family Business. One of the kind of there's like these 10 sayings he has. I changed the world. What is it? We change the world one soul at a time, or something like that, along those lines. So ultimately, that's how it happens, one soul at a time. And like you said, right, the best way people can show appreciation is they'll pass it on. So if you give them something of value and something that actually helps change in their life, then they themselves will also go and start, being an advocate for spiritual, for Lord Chaitanya, for the process of devotional service. Yes, Adai, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the class. You were mentioning the point how Lord Chaitanya saves time. We save a lot of time by following the word of Lord Chaitanya. And I was reflecting on that by following the simple orders of Krishna or Lord Chaitanya, we save ourselves from a lot of mental speculation, whether this or whether that, by simply following the orders of Lord Chaitanya. And you see practically in society today and society in India is many people have so many conglomerations of what is actual spiritual life, but then they become distasteful. They lose a taste when that spiritual life isn't getting them anywhere, and then they throw the baby out with the bathwater. Oh, all religion is bad, all religion is useless, and something like that. But Lord Chaitanya, he made it simple, but also very deep. And I really like that point that if we just follow Lord Chaitanya, we save a lot of time.
Yeah, simple and sublime. Prabhu would say that. Simple for the simple, complicated for the complicated. And he would say, bhakti is simple, but it's not easy. Also because, especially in this world, we have so many elements working against us at every moment. Even myself, I'm my worst enemy. My own worst enemy. Right? Like Krishna mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, the mind can be our best friend or our worst enemy. So yeah, we have to train the mind. Yeah, have you ever seen an untrained dog? It's horrible. They're just running all over the place and they're doing all types of crazy stuff. But then when you see a trained dog, you're like, whoa, sits, lay down. So like that, we can train the mind to follow the process of devotional service. Any more questions? We could take one more. Reflections? Comments? Okay. Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasinubhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo.